Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the countdown has begun here for game number 2 between these amazing Zerg players. WCS Shakuras Plateau is the map of choice. Welcome back to the World Championship Series European Finals, ladies and gentlemen. We have an incredible Zerg best of 3 here for you, and this is game number 2, spawning in the top left position. He is currently 1 game up over his teammate. Can he make it a 2-0 sweep? Representing Team Acer, we have Nerchio. And his opponent is going to be in the bottom right starting location, ladies and gentlemen. Also representing Team Acer in this ZVZ team kill. Will he be able to make it back? It is Bly. So in the EPS Berlin Open last week, we remember telling Bly that if he was able to win the tournament, or I think actually if he was able to win that best of 5, this was just before he played Hasuobs, that we'd buy him a Happy Meal. But he did go down in possibly the most epic PvZ I've ever cast, 3-2 to Hasuobs. And sadly, we're going to be buying that Happy Meal for Hasu. But Bly's looking to get one back here against his teammate and keep his hopes of staying in this tournament alive. Of course, both players want to make sure that at least whoever wins this match gets as far as possible in the brackets and hopefully gets that invite to China as well. But sadly, one of them does have to fall here. So neither player doing anything particularly drastic at the moment. Nerchio and Bly both opting for pool first at almost exactly the same time here on Shakuras. And they will discover momentarily, there we go with the Overlord, that there is no creep spread in the close by air positions, and therefore Bly now knows that Nerchio is in cross spawns, as does Nerchio. So that's going to be all fairly hunky-dory. Must have seen that potential scout, knows that there's no Overlord meeting him here, and that's why he changed the Overlord trajectory. Notice that Nerchio hasn't actually seen that there's no creep here, but he noticed that there was absolutely no Overlord moving to the close by air position, and because of this, he already knows that Bly is cross positions. So that's why he moved the Overlords, even though he hasn't seen. Really cool stuff from Nerchio. In the meantime, we have the first Queen and 4 Lings popping out from Nerchio. Nothing too out of the ordinary, and we have got the natural expansion going down for Bly as well. Nerchio sees this with the Overlord and immediately turns back. I don't think Bly saw that Overlord scout. So, is Nerchio going to respond with a hatch of his own? Yes, he is. So Bly with a very slightly faster natural expansion. But Nerchio going to be able to get his Queen up there first, so not too much that's different between these two players at this moment in the game. Going to be building a spine crawler at the front is Bly, looking like he's going to build it on the creep here, and then transfer it down once the natural hatchery is complete, rather than wait for the hatchery to complete and build it here. Just wants to make sure he's more or less immune to this early game Zergling aggression. In the meantime, Metabolic Boost is now out for Nerchio. It's about a third of the way complete. Bly has only just started his, so Nerchio going to have a little bit of an advantage in speed for his Zerglings once again in this game number 2. He might not be able to make too much of it, though. I mean, the advantage really isn't too much at the moment as the Baneling Nest goes down for him as well. That small timing window might already come at a time where... Ooh, and it looks like the Spine Crawler... Is the Spine Crawler moving, or was it cancelled? No, there we go. It's just moving to the natural expansion. Good positioning there by the ramp, so he's able to kill Zerglings that are harassing the drones in the mineral line in the natural expansion, as well as try and protect this. And actually we're going to be SimCitying it off with a Baneling Nest, and the Queen completes that there. So nice positioning there from Bly, forcing Nerchio to go all the way around if Nerchio wants to do any sort of early game shenanigans, as both sides go for their Baneling Nests. In the meantime, we even have a Spine Crawler going up for Nerchio at the top of his natural expansion as well. Not quite SimCityed in the way that Bly's is, but still going to be able to do the job, do the business, if you will. He'll be able to keep some of those Zerglings out, and the Queens and defensive Zerglings in the base, probably accompanied with a Baneling or 2 later on, will be able to keep the rest out as well. Another Spine Crawler going up for Bly, so he's really looking to fend off any early game aggression here from Nerchio. and not wanting anything untoward to happen whatsoever. But Nerchio is going to be having the slightly faster layer, so he's not looking to go for a really quick attack against Bly. He knows he's in an advantageous position, being 1-0 up in the series, and he is happy to wait and react. This is how you need to play ZVZ. The general aim of the game is to do everything your opponent's doing, just slightly later, so that you can get a couple more drones built and mining, and basically do exactly what your opponent's doing, but with a little bit better of an economy. I notice a lot of hatcheries are being hotkeyed here. Presumably they're going to get replaced very soon indeed, as Bly also is about to complete his lair. But note that the Spire has just gone down for Nerchio, so he will have a slightly quicker Spire. He's only on 3 gas at the moment, only just now starting to mine from the 4th, and the Queen is going to be chasing away this Overlord from Bly. He has not seen any Spire-related shenanigans, but that's because he's going to go ahead and Spire it up himself. So all quiet on the Western Front here, guys. Believe it or not, this Game 2 has not been anywhere close to as explosive as we were potentially expecting in Game 1. Both sides just teching up to Baneling, Ling, Mutalisk kind of composition later on in the game. Here we see a lot of Lings being produced now. 12 for Bly and 4 for Nerchio, going to be bolstering their existing forces while the Spire gets ready to hatch up. In fact, if you take a closer look, the Spire doesn't look particularly tall, does it? But then when it bursts out, it comes out like a 3-story building. It's pretty scary stuff. I would not want to be the drone that's rushing out of there like a roller coaster. This guy, it's effectively like a ride. He's going to shoot sky high in a couple of seconds. Here we go. And whee! There goes the Spire up indeed, and Bly going to have his just a couple of seconds behind, and 6 Mutalisks immediately starting for Nerchio. So he'll have the slightly faster mutas. Bly will not be able to get map control with these Lings as long as Nerchio gets his mutas out into the center of the map faster. That's going to be really useful for him. Also getting a slightly faster Zerg Flyer Carapace level 1 upgrade, which is great against fellow Mutalisks because he knows, in fact he suspects now that Bly's going mutas himself, and he wants to make sure that the bounce damage from those mutas don't actually do as much damage as they possibly can. So that's what the +1 armor upgrade for the Flyers does. It stops the bounce attacks from doing so much damage. So that's going to negate any sort of muta-on-muta action later on, as Nerchio now moving out towards the center of the map with his Mutalisk. Bly going to be moving back with his Zerglings, but he needs to get his Overlords out of dodge ASAP, because Nerchio has the first mutas out on the map. He's going to be able to establish map control, and he's going to be able to move away those Overlords. He sees the timing of the 3rd base from Bly. Nerchio has not taken his own 3rd yet over here, because he's going to be taking it at the forward location. Very, very aggressive towards his opponent, and now he's going to try and force a cancel at the 3rd base as well. The mutas coming in from Bly to try and defend against it, but Nerchio coming in with his own Mutalisk. Is he going to be able to force the cancel? And yes, I think he is. And oh my, Bly actually not cancelling that, so that's going to be pretty huge as well. Trying to force a cancel back here too. And it looks like the cancel does not get forced here so far. Will the mutas be able to hold on for Nerchio? Bly currently has 11 Mutalisks, and there are only 8 out for Nerchio, but Bly is not forcing the issue. It looks like the 3rd doesn't get cancelled, and that's because we have a Ling run by into the natural expansion here. Is it going to do a decent amount of damage? 1 or 2 drones goes down, not an awful lot, and there are more than enough Lings here to sort it out. 4 workers killed so far in total for Nerchio. He has a slender supply lead once again over Bly, and the mutas coming to try and force a cancel here. Is he going to be able to do so? They're not actually doing too much damage. Oh, and the Queen might get taken out. No, he doesn't. Lives to survive another day. I would inject that hatch while I can, sir, before that Queen potentially goes down. Another Ling run by the remaining Lings from the 3rd base location, trying to go towards the natural expansion, but Bly having absolutely none of that. There are still a couple of Lings here, though, and even though Bly has sent a drone out to build this hatchery, chances are it is not going to get built anytime soon. Needs to be very careful with that Queen. Those Lings can run around and try and pick it off. That's exactly what he's going to try and do, and he does successfully do it. In the meantime, now we have the mutas finally coming over to clear the 3rd base location, but Nerchio has technically secured this 3rd base. Needs to be oh so careful, taking a 4th as well in the normal 3rd base location, if you will. Has Bly seen this yet? He has not. He's probably going to want Spore and Spines out here. Very, very dangerous location to have your hatchery, but really expanding right in Bly's face there, saying, look, I'm just going to take base after base. What are you going to do about it? And slightly better engagements for Nerchio has allowed him to do this, because he is now up to 126 supply versus 102, just constantly poking and prodding at Bly, forcing him back with his play style, where he just forces the third to get cancelled, and then holds his own. So he's currently 20 supply ahead, and actually he's 12 workers ahead as well, which is great at this point in the game, especially with a fourth hatchery about to complete. Nerchio could power up to 70 drones very, very quickly indeed. And we now have a potential engagement out here. Oh, picking off a couple of Mutalisks there. That is not something Nerchio, Bly would have wanted, and he's doing quite a good job at the moment, picking off yet another couple, and he sees that this third base location at the forward base has been taken. Nerchio waiting for the correct opportunity to move in and deny it, and it looks like now is going to be it. Definitely has to get cancelled, and once again, Bly failing to cancel the hatchery, so that's another 300 minerals biting the dust, and more mutas getting picked off here from Nerchio. He now is almost at a 50 supply lead. We have a run by here at the third base, but Bly is not going to be able to get the hatchery cancelled, and all of a sudden it's 4 hatcheries against 2, and Nerchio is in a very, very good position right now. Bly, for some reason, just isn't able to take down Nerchio's playstyle. Nerchio is now starting to take his infestation pit, but the one thing Bly has going for him is Pathogen Glance is already researched for him, so will he be able to turn the game around with some pretty sick fungal growths? I don't know, because Nerchio looks like he wants to come in right now. Oh, excellent Veiling hit there from Bly, but it looks like the mutas are coming in anyway. Nerchio doesn't mind. He thinks he has the numbers at the moment. He currently is 22 mutas to 8, and he could very well be right. The mutas are clumping up, and it looks like Bly is losing all of his Mutalisks here. What can he do as far as anti-air goes? There are 2 more queens, but they might not be enough. Infestors are on their way, so he will be able to use fungal growth in just a moment. There's the first infestor. Excellent fungal growth on those Mutalisks, but the queens are continuing to go down. A second queen goes down as well. Will the final one disappear? It's looking like it will. And Nerchio, with his Mutalisk play, looking like he might be able to take out Bly pretty quickly indeed in game number 2 here. We have reinforcing lings out in the center of the map, preventing any sort of counterattack, and these mutas are just way too strong. The spine crawler is going down as well, and the mutas providing covering fire for absolutely everything. He's up 123 supply to 49 at the moment, and he's even getting a couple of units into the main base. Just 2 Mutalisks able to pick off. Congrats. GG from Bly, and Nerchio is going to win this epic Team Kills EVZ 2-1.